Hello, SMPS volunteers. Today's program will be recorded and made available on SMPS's YouTube volunteer training channel, as well as the library of the All Chapter Leaders community of MySMPS. I'm Julio Santos, SMPS's Chapter Services and Membership Coordinator, and on behalf of the SMPS board and the entire headquarters staff, we extend a big thank you for all of you joining us today and for all that you do to serve your chapter members and the society at large. Before we get started, all lines are muted. We encourage questions and sharing of great ideas during these roundtables. So if you have a comment or question, you may type your question in the question text box. It should be located on the right of your screen. Please feel free to type them during the webinar, and we'll take questions at the end of the program. And of course, Natalie and I will be looking for the questions. I'm going to turn the program over to my colleague, SMPS Chapter Services Manager, Natalie Gozar. Welcome, Natalie.
Hey, thanks, Julio, and welcome, volunteers. Happy you could join us today. So, MySMPS is your online SMPS community. The mission, MySMPS, really is simply to connect you. Connect you and your fellow chapter members with not only each other, but with more than at least 6,800 members of our 57 chapters, soon to be 58 chapters. So, it's an extremely rich member-only benefit. For you all as chapter volunteers, I know we refer you to MySMPS so frequently, and this is because it has all the resources that can assist you in your roles as volunteers. So I know many of you are familiar with the community, but we're sometimes met with a bit of apprehension or, I had no idea that existed. What is MySMPS? So we really understand and respect your busy schedules, and we know it's challenging to have a handle on all the resources available to you. So for those of you who need a little more info or a quick tutorial, or even if you just want to see where this all chapter leaders community that you hear about all the time is located within MySMPS, thanks for joining me, and you're in luck. I do plan to play Toto for you today, like in The Wizard of Oz, and I'm going to pull back that magic curtain on the great, all-powerful MySMPS for you today. MySMPS can benefit you personally in your role as a volunteer and in your career. It's important that you are somewhat familiar with the community so that you can speak to its benefits with your chapter members and prospects. The SMPS member directory, the job bank, and marketing resource center are all located within MySMPS, and the site hosts blogs, event listings, chapter and board communities, member-created communities of interest, what else? Discussion lists, and coming soon, we have a speakers directory module where members can post and search. So, without further ado, off we go to the MySMPS community.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
So welcome to the magical and all-powerful online community of MySMPS, your online community. Now, to access the community, there's a MySMPS link on the top of the SMPS homepage. So you just click that link, it takes you right there. And it's important to note that your username and password are the very same that you use to log into the SMPS website. One and the same, so it's very easy to remember, especially if you access through a mysmps.org bookmark rather than the SMPS website itself. Now, if this is your first time logging into the community, you're going to see a code of conduct pop up. It's a user agreement, and that's going to appear, and you'll be required to read and agree to the code prior to gaining access to the site. You're only going to see this the very first time that you log in. It's always there as a reference. Now, on this homepage that I'm showing you, you'll see a customized dashboard, and you'll see information relevant to you based on your interests and the communities you've joined if you've been in the site before. As you can see, we have the job bank. It's a very nice feature that pulls from our career center on our website. You can use this to search and or post for job. You're going to find some information on MySMPS, including the user guide. There are recent blogs on the homepage, and you can check out the upcoming SMPS events. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when you sign in is to access your profile from the top right. You're going to want to update your profile. Your contact info is pulled here from our headquarters database, but you can share so much more about yourself. The info you share here can be made available to society members through the directory, and it can also be made available to the public if you wish. You can share your career bio, your primary job function, any certifications you may have, your education, and the awards that you've won. You can even pull in your social media information and other social sites if you want to share some more information on yourself. Next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to go to your privacy settings, and these are accessed under the My Account tab. This is where you can control what profile information you want to share. Do you want to make it with, for example, my picture? Do I want my picture to be shared with SMPS members only, the public, or just the MySMPS contacts that I have? So under this Account tab, you'll also find the Community Notification settings. And this is where you can set your email preferences from the communities of which you're a member. You have the option, for example, I'm a member of this Adobe Creativity community. You always have the option to receive the messages in real time. That means that discussion messages from the community are going to be sent via email just as they are posted in real time. You have the option for Daily Digest, which means you'll receive all the community messages of the day in one email. You can receive a Daily Digest, and what I want you to keep in mind is you receive a Daily Digest from each community of which you're a member. Now, email to get no emails is also a choice, and if you choose that option, you can then always visit communities when it's convenient for you. But for your All Chapter Leaders community or board community or chapter community, especially as volunteers, we recommend you subscribe to real-time or at least Daily Digest messages so you don't miss important info that's getting pushed out to volunteers from headquarters. The info you provide on your profile is going to be made available to society members in the member directory. Now, the member directory is an extremely popular and really widely used tool to network. You have the basic search and you have an advanced search function. And using the advanced search, for example, is really interesting because you can, for example, find members who are principals or managers in perhaps, let's pick Boston or Hartford, who might be a member of the Boston chapter, who are offering geotechnical engineering services, maybe in a firm of about 100 to 249 people. So as you see, you can really drill down using this advanced search function. Super popular resource, this member directory. So on to communities. So you can use the drop-down tab on the communities. You can find communities that you can join. Click on All Communities. You're going to see a lot pop up because I'm an administrator of MySMPS. So you're going to see all the communities that are available to you that you can join. If they have a green button, it means that you can join them. I'm going to pop down to this Adobe Creativity community. This is a really popular community. As you can see, it has 402 members. And this community is a really great community to get some tips and resources, ask questions, and you can specifically message a member of this community while in the community. You can search for a community of interest. Say you're BD. You really want to get into a business development community. You want to see what's available. I have one I can recommend, one I love. More cowbell for business development. And this is a community that you can join. This is what all the communities look like, and they have tabs across the top with discussion, library, blogs, and the number of members. So if you want to see all the different community types, you can use the drop-down. In addition to the communities that are open to join, you have your chapter community. So here's the community types, drop-down. We'll go to chapter. This is going to list all of the chapters. Now, SMPS members are members of their MySMPS chapter community unless they opt out. So every member has membership in their chapter community. SMPS does not actively refer members to their chapter community For example, when someone joins, I'm not saying, hey, you have to go check out your chapter community. This is because we're not going to refer folks there unless the chapter community is active. And by active, we define that as having a descriptive landing page, populated library, and an active discussion feature. We don't want to send your members there if there's really nothing going on in your community. So, for example, I know Washington, D.C. has a pretty active chapter community. Search for them. And when I say active, they have this nice landing page right here, Welcome SMPS DC members. When you click on the community, you can see that they've populated their community. They have 41 discussions that are going on, and they've had us, so that means they've had us here at headquarters activate their discussion feature. Now, if you're interested in activating or augmenting your chapter community, please contact me and I can assist you with this. So if we go back to the community types drop-down, all community types, a private chapter board community exists for each one of our chapters. The chapter board members are not automatically members of their chapter board community. Members are invited to join the community by the community's administrator. They go into their chapter board of directors. Now, some chapters elect to have their entire board as members of their chapter board community, while some include only executive board members. It's really up to your board. The chapter board community for each chapter is intended really to be the go-to storage location for important chapter board documents for archival purposes. We are always recommending this. The reason being, documents cannot be lost, and you have unlimited storage. I hear from folks, unfortunately, at least once or twice a month, that it's just a debacle. They don't know what their password is to their Dropbox. Nobody even knows what the username is, and they've lost all their board documents. Well, by keeping them within MySMPS, you have access to these all the time, and you have unlimited storage. And each year, the chapter volunteers who have access to your board community can be updated. Let's look at SMPS Chicago. For example, this is a chapter I've been working with recently. We're kind of cleaning up their library. And I'm going to show you their library. And keep in mind, when you do put items into your library, you want to try to keep your folders clean and neat and easy. I liken your library to almost like a filing cabinet. So you have each folder is a drawer, and within the drawer, you can have subfolders. So it's important that you do keep these, keep them clean, keep them, however your chapter decides you'd like to order your folders, by year, alphabetical order. It's really up to you and what's intuitive for your folks. But be sure that you're updating information when it's appropriate and purging information also. For example, it's the best practice to keep your minute meetings, but you don't always need your meeting agendas. So perhaps consider after a year, perhaps getting rid of those, purging those. Now, let's go out to your all chapter leaders community. And again, it's easy to find a community by just doing a search. Okay, all chapter leaders. Every volunteer of SMPS is a member of this community. This community is chock full of resources to help you in your volunteer role. There's no need to recreate the wheel. We have all the resources that you need here, and we do refer you to here frequently. We can even provide you with a link that you can pass out to your folks if you want to share something. There's a discussion tab on the All Chapter Leaders community. And discussions and questions that you pose within this community, they really benefit all the volunteers because it facilitates communications within this community, and it captures and archives the threads, which is really neat. So you can always go back if you wanted to revisit it. I frequently see questions and discussions such as, for example, there's one down here, does your chapter have a physical lending library? So that's helpful for other chapters. In our fellows community recently, I saw a post from one of our fellows asking members if they had a student member presentation that they could share. Well, this discussion was shared, and within 2 to 3 hours, several resources were floated to the fellow asking. I then, of course, I saved the resources in the library so they had access at a later date. Very, very helpful. Within your library of your community, your community, we've populated with all the resources you need as a volunteer, and you can download them right to your desktop. So, for example, this is where the calendar lives for chapter volunteers for this programming year. There's a folder containing information for certification, CPSM. Within chapter awards folder, this is where you're going to be able to find the winning submittals since 2012 that we have online if you're looking for some good resources. We have the chapter management manual and the toolkits. They live within here, saved within here, I should say. We have some chapter resources in here. You're going to find, this is where the strategic planning toolkit for the chapters that are ramping up for a strategic planning session. We even have strategic planning samples in here that other chapters have shared with us. Take a look at those. We have a communications folder. We have the education program. This is where you can find the chapter education report, so helpful when you're looking for ideas for programming for your chapter. The finance administration folder is full of all those fun documents that Antonio shares with you and that you're required to share back with Antonio, as well as some best practices. There's a guide for MySMPS Community for Volunteers in here that you can take a look at for some more information. Governance, insurance. Many times chapters are requesting a certificate of insurance form so they can send it off. That's where that lives. We also have all the logos for every chapter in here in almost every format that you need. We have marketing ads for when you're having an event at your chapter. We have the membership collateral that you can take a look at, items that you can print off or you can request Julio and I to send them out to you. We also have Markendium, information on Markendium, getting a little bit far down. Membership, sponsorship, we have information on the SMPS regional conferences. And these virtual roundtable programs like you're participating in today, that's where these are kept as well. So as you can see, it really is, I say that it's chock full of resources, and you can download anything you need there right to your desktop. And so last but not least, highlighting MySMPS Community, I would be remiss if I did not pop out to the Marketing Resource Center. This is a super popular section of MySMPS for all members. This library has has many, many resources to assist you in your job within the AEC industry. If you have resources to share with us, please share. We'll make sure it gets out to your fellow members. As you can see, the library is populated. We have articles from our Marketer magazine going back to 2013 that you can reference and share with your team. Career resources, we actually have some job descriptions in here if you're a person who's creating the job descriptions for your firm. We have the Marketing Communication Award winners. Sample documents in here, some marketing plan samples. We have go, no-go forms, some debriefing questionnaires that have been very helpful. We have presentations from Build Business, our annual conference. This is where you can find foundation white papers. We have CPSM study tools. There's a CPSM mock exam in there. Surveys and reports, strategic planning, and the lunchtime learning labs, the free learning labs every other month. This is where they are all saved, so you can queue those up and share those with your team. In addition, we have information on domains of practice, and very helpful if you are having an event where you're presenting on MySMPS, we have the recent research that has been conducted by the SMPS Foundation. So as you can see, I hope I did not lead you astray. This community is truly fantastic and can assist you not only as a resource, but in your daily position. And there's an app. Do you have the MySMPS app? It's extremely useful. I personally use it regularly when I'm traveling. Typically, I'm searching for someone. I'm at a regional conference, and I can't remember what that person looks like, or I need their email, pull them up right on my app. Or I meet a member who I'm looking to connect with. For example, I meet someone who's looking to connect with another member. I'm sorry, perhaps that's somebody saying, do you know of any members who are another technical person in my state? Well, I pull out my handy app and I can get all that information. So I encourage you to download. It's available in Google Play and through the App Store. Download and connect with someone that you meet by all you have to do is scan the available barcode on their profile if you're in person and you both have the app open. So the app really lets you get all the tools and resources that you need while you're on the go. There's a user guide available as a handy reference, covers some of the information I presented today a little more in depth. That's available within your All Chapter Leaders community of MySMPS. You now know where that is and what's available for you within it. And you can also download it now, as I've attached it as a handout to today's program. So just click over on your right side. You should be able to download that. So I recommend a little to-do list for you, maybe sometime throughout this month. Get into MySMPS, complete your profile, download the app, explore all the resources in your All Chapter Leaders community, and share them with your team. Again, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. If it's not there, ask us. Of course, we are here for you. We'll get it for you, and then we'll also store it within the community for others. Poke around, see what communities of interest are in there for you. Get some great information to help you with your career, and explore and share resources in the Marketing Resource Center. And the directory, can't emphasize how much it is. I'm just hearing every day from members, it's really helping them build their network. And for the chapter board members on this program, get in there and access your board community and ensure the documents really are being saved there for archival purposes. So I want to thank you for this opportunity to allow me to pull back the curtain for you on your MySMPS community. It really is a super powerful tool, and I hope I've sparked your interest, and you can now speak to a few highlights of the community and use them yourselves. We're always happy to conduct one-on-one tutorials, so just connect with me if you need more information. I do join a couple of chapters virtually via GoToMeeting on a regular basis to conduct brief tutorials for them when they're having new member orientation, so I'd be happy to do that for you. So let's open it up for some questions right now. Julio, I'm going to kick it back over to you. Have you seen any questions come in?
Yep, we have quite a few. I'll go ahead and get started. Question number one, for a chapter board community, how do I populate that with new board members? And that I think a member needs to become an admin first. Is that right?
That's correct. For the chapter board communities, chapters need to decide who their admin is going to be. If you haven't really been in your board community, just contact me and we can set it up with an admin. For chapter board members who are rolling over, you want to take a look at who your admins are right now, and then you want to actually, some of those folks might be rolling off, and some of those folks you might want as new admins. Typically, chapters have 1 to 3 admins. I really don't see the need to have too many more than that. The admin role is addresses the questions. They can actually populate, send invitations, or put people directly into the community if they're an admin of their board community. Admins can also create folders. Anyone who's a member of the board community can upload information to those folders, but only the admins can create the folders and move them around, sort them out, create that clean filing cabinet that I was referencing.
Thank you. Next question. If I change, I'm a chapter president. I think my chapter is ready to start a discussion list. How should I go about it?
Hey, that's great. So for our chapter communities, again, we really want to make sure that the chapter communities are ready to go before we start directing members there. So by ready to go, you want to create a landing page, make just a short 2-3 paragraph, not 2-3 paragraphs, that's not short, 2-3 sentences on, what the community is going to be used for and a welcome. And then you want to put some documents in your library, documents that you're actually going to direct your membership to go look at and to use. So make sure that your library has resources in it. And then we can activate the discussion feature of your community, and then we can start those rich dialogues. And then you would like to push out this information that your community is active to your members via email, not via the discussion tab of your community. And this is so that they have all the information on MySMPS they need. They don't want to start receiving things from MySMPS and they won't know, what this is. Most likely it might even go to spam. So you want to make sure that you are announcing at events and that you, perhaps put it in your newsletter and or send an email to your chapter members.
Great, thank you. Another question, if I change firms, how do I change my information in MySMPS? And I can take this one. We encourage all members to update their information on smps.org. If they update any information on MySMPS, our system it doesn't write back to our system. So For example, if somebody went in and changed their chapter, that's really just cosmetic, and it'll show the new chapter on their MySMPS profile, but that won't write back to our internal system. Therefore, the chapter won't be alerted, so on and so forth. So we do encourage all members to update their information on smps.org as opposed to mysmps.org. Natalie, do you want to add anything to that?
No, you handled that one very well. Thanks, Julio. It was a great question.
Yep.
Are there any others?
We have another one. I'm not sure if we went over this at the start, but I may be able to answer this as well. The question is, how do we log on to MySMPS? That we have a link at the top of smps.org that takes you to MySMPS, and the login credentials are the exact same as your smps.org login credentials. So the exact same credentials will get you logged in. So now it looks like Natalie's showing us there. That's our home page, and at the very top toolbar there is a MySMPS link. And of course you could also type that in, mysmps.org. And again, it's the exact same login credentials as smps.org is.
Yep, easy peasy.
And I think that's all for the questions, unless anyone has the last minute question they want to shoot over.
Okay. Any questions, Julio? We seen anything?
No, don't say anything.
Okay. Well, I hope you all know that you can contact us at any time. We are here for you. Any questions that you have, please reach out to Mary Cruz, Julio, myself. We are always here for you, and we strive to make your roles as volunteers easier, really. That's why we're here. So we encourage you to visit the All Chapter Leaders community of mysmps.org and go forth and share all this great information that I hope that you now have. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all that you do for SMPS, all you do for your chapter and the society overall. Hope you have a great day. Thanks, everybody. This ends the webinar. Bye-bye.